Hey everybody, here we go. So today on the 23 best home buying tips I've learned in 23 years, tip number 16, write a personal letter. Write a personal letter. If you want a downright ninja trick, I mean something that's going to help you stand out, something that's going to help you get your offer through, regardless if you're an agent or a home buyer, this tip is for you. See, the idea is simply this. In this competitive real estate market that we have, right, it's important that you stand out with your offer. Now, it's true, you've probably minimized your contingencies and your concessions because you've listened to the previous video. You've made your best offer first. You've certainly increased your earnest money deposit to make it as attractive as possible, right? And yet, you know, you're finding out that there's still 3 other offers on the table. And this is the one. Oh, this is the one. This is what we got to have. What do you do? How do you stand out? How do you stand out when there's 3 competing offers and maybe they're better than yours and maybe you can't go up anymore? Maybe you've tapped out the highest you can tap out and gone as high as you can go. What do you do to get that house? Or do you just throw your hands up and just say to hell with it, right? Got some good ideas for you today. Tip number 1, right? Point number 1, write a personal letter. Write a personal letter. You see, in this world of emails and text, direct messages, instant message, emojis, I mean, it's such an impersonal world that we live in, that anytime you do something that stands out, that is personal, it attracts attention. It's memorable, right? Why not use, I don't know, a tried and true method, right? Write them a nice little letter, a little handwritten letter on a card, right? Tell the seller something personal about yourself, right? It doesn't have to be anything creepy. I mean, just say, hey, you know, my name's Carl. My wife's name is so-and-so. We work, you know, over here. I work at the Umpty Ump plant. She's a teacher over here at such and such school. We have a couple kids. They go to this school district on the street. We really like your house. We've been searching for 6 months. You know, I'm getting ready to ship out to Afghanistan. Whatever your particular circumstance is, okay, put it in writing, handwritten. None of this computer stuff, text stuff. Put it on your. And I know it's hard for you millennials, right, to try to get this right. But when you think about it, you definitely want to go ahead and take the time to do this because on a property, when there's competition, this can really make the difference. And I have personally seen a situation where you've had competing offers, some that have been higher than the one we made, where you make that offer with a handwritten letter, and the lower offer with the handwritten letter will get accepted sometimes simply because the seller feels more affinity, more attachment to those people. It's not always about money, folks. When you think about it, tell the seller something about your property, about your situation. Make it personal, make it handwritten, right? And then point number 2, have your agent deliver it to the seller's agent. Listen, that agent works for you. Okay, their job is to serve you, act as your representative to get your word out, right? So have them do that. Give them this card, this letter, however you present it. Say, gosh, you know, I need you to print this, get this to the listing agent with the offer. I need them to see this. This is from me to them. You have the right to do that, and it's okay, right? Get it to the house because it does make a difference. I wrote down point number 3. If you have children, right? This is a special tip. If you have kids, have them draw something. Have them draw a picture of them in front of the house. Listen, let me tell you something, okay? One time I had this hard as nails seller. Hard as nails seller. Okay, now I'm a former, I served with 2nd Marines. I know what the Marine life is like, and he was a Marine, and he was Marines through and through, right? His heart melted. Melted in front of this little girl, this tiny little 7, 8-year-old girl who drew a picture of her in front of the house with a flagpole with an American flag and a Marine Corps flag. Don't you know, that seller gave that single mother and her child $5,000 off that price. He could have took another offer that would have made him $5,000 more, but because the child wrote that and drew that little letter, or I'm sorry, the mother wrote the letter and the child drew the picture in a crayon, it was enough to melt his heart. Guys, don't ever, ever get to the point where you think this business is so technical and so tech savvy and so heartless that empathy and emotion doesn't play a factor, because it does. And tip number 16, writing a personal letter, sometimes can save you thousands. That's today's tip. If you thought this was helpful, do me a favor. Share it on your social network. Share it with somebody who's buying a house right now. Share it with your agent. Share it with whoever you thought would be useful to get it. And as always, have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.